All right, today's Ask Me Anything is about creating your path. Someone asked, what advice do you have for people wanting to find their paths, and also like what they should be doing, what business should they create to be successful, as well as what business should they, or what career should they follow in order to be successful. If you're looking on, if you're looking for potentially what to do to create your path or to be super successful, you're never gonna be. It's not how it works. So if I told you do this and you'll be super successful, you'll never be super successful. It's like I've used this example before. Anytime you follow someone else's path, then you're not thinking for yourself. Then you end up getting into a place where you're only getting very partially a very small amount of the reward that the first person that got there actually picked up. The best way to create your path is and I talk a lot about this in Third Circle again. So go fucking read Third Circle. It's really important. But if you have read it, then you already know what I'm about to say. If you haven't read it, then just make sure you pay attention to this. Curiosity is typically the number one reason you're going to be successful or not. If you're someone who's just handed down shit and you just take it for what it is and you're like, whatever, like I'll just follow this direction, that's great. Or you want a handout telling you what to do in order to be successful, you will never fucking succeed. If you actually take in information only to trigger your curiosity to get involved and educate yourself further on a topic, that's how you become successful. So, in other words, don't go fucking signing up to stock market-based websites so you can know which stocks to invest in and then just go put your money behind them and be like, I'm gonna make some money. No. If you're really interested in the stock market, go educate yourself on how the stock market works and how to make it work for you. Understand the patterns, understand how it physically works, and then from there, understand that even if you're getting stock picks from the person that taught you, you don't have to invest in those. You can go and actually understand the strategies and the patterns and identify your very own kind of like golden picks. Reason being that if you're identifying them instead of you being told what to identify, then at the very least, you're actually being able to capitalize on something much more because you are taking the majority of something rather than being the 100th person that invests in something that you've been told to invest in. The goal is always, has always been, and will always be, to be the leader in something, not a follower. We're all followers in the entry stages of our life because we're all following a system that we've been told will get us to a successful path. Well, here's why we've been lied to on that system. We've been told we'll go on a successful path only on the basis that other people have had success with it. Now, because times change and because millions of people have gone down on this path is no longer successful. I think of the system we're following when we're growing up and we're told, go to school, go do this, not as the system to be successful, but as the system to survive. In order to survive within the context of the limits we live within that society has set for us to abide by, or the rules we're abiding by and with the limits we're living within, then if you're following that, you're only going to be a survivor and as successful as your survival requires you to be. If your survival requires you to have a car, a house, and work, that's what you're going to have, and you're going to achieve that. And that is the level of success you're going to achieve. When you think about like the long term of creating a path, it's about being involved in things, trying things, failing at them, but learning from them. The whole point of being successful is to learn a lot so that when you're exposed to new things, you have different perspectives from different angles. Here's something important to note. I loved money when I was growing up. This is what I wanted. Like I wanted a lot of money. So the point was not to go out and make a lot of money. I didn't know what to do, like many people. I didn't know where to go, what to do. I had a great job when I was 14. I knew that being the best at it, even though I hated the fucking work, I would know that I would get somewhere. I was like, I don't know where, but I'll make some fucking better money than I'm making now because I'll keep getting promoted. And I did. By 18, I was director of a company. That gave me an entry point to go somewhere else where money was. I said I want to learn about real estate. I said I wanted to learn about finance. And so what did I do? I could have done two things. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to sit my ass at home, not do anything, and try to figure out how to make money in stocks. Or I'm going to go work in a bank and try to understand the inner workings of how the financial system works. I didn't know if working in a bank was going to teach me that shit. All I knew is that going there and doing that was first going to give me some prestigious job somewhere where most people couldn't have when they were 18. How many people, are like 18 were like bank managers? Like probably very, very few, So it's like I knew it was going to put me in that cap. And then two, it was going to put me in the opportunity to learn management, finance, understand mortgages, things that are related to real estate and money. And not the whole gist of it, but just something that gives me an entry point into knowing what am I interested in really. Is it really making money, or is there an aspect of making money that interests me more? Through that, I learned I hate stocks. Like, I don't like stock trading. I'm an opportunist when it comes to stock trading. I don't invest daily. I invest when my friends call me and like someone tells me, hey, you know, take a look at these stocks. I look, and if I'm like, everyone's afraid of them, or there's a huge drop in something, then I'll be like, yeah, let me put some money behind this, make some money out of it, and I'm out of it. I'm not the guy to like sit there all day trading. I don't give a shit to do that. I have really good friends that you guys probably know, like Tim Sykes and Cameron Foose, who are amazing traders, and they're great kids, and they're doing their thing. And all of them give me tips all the time, and they're always like, hey, I can teach you this, and I just don't give a shit. I don't like doing it. I don't like sitting there investing in real estate or investing in any stock related, you know, issues. So I just don't care. Like, it's not for me. It doesn't mean that I'm not good at it or I can't do it. It's just that it's never been something that interested me. So if you find things that interest you, then instead of thinking about it as it needs to be part of my path, is this what I'm meant to do? Just fucking do it. Do it and learn about it. And if you don't like it, then what'd you lose? Nothing. You'll learn something about finance. You'll learn something about whatever it is you wanted to learn. And if tomorrow you identify a different opportunity, now you understood something about finance that many people are looking at the same opportunity may not. And through that lens, you might see something that attracts you very much, that you appreciate very much, and that you might very much do in order to succeed. So I highly, highly, highly recommend not looking at something as if it's part of your path or not, but rather continuously seeking to self-educate yourself on various topics, and anything that interests you, anything that's thrown your way, to at least investigate it, run through it, and not judge things for the reward you earn. I talked about this. This is super important. I wrote something called The Way We Learn. This was an article I wrote for Secret Entourage. Very, very important. We as human beings associate learning typically with the reward associated with the learning. So we go to school to receive a diploma because we're told we can have a job. We go to college because we're told we can have a better job if we're graduates and to earn another diploma. We always are taught from a very early childhood to do things with a reward. We go and learn in school so we can have like playtime in kindergarten, you know, and so we're always given a reward for the learning we're about to embark on. So there's going to be a time where you need to break that cycle and no longer expect to receive something just because you learned something. Don't go fucking learning how to, don't read a book because you're going to immediately apply its principles and make $1 million. Don't think about it that way. Read a book because you believe in learning about social media, for example. So read a book on social media. Don't read a book on social media just because you want to go make money in social media. Be educated enough to identify opportunities, to educate yourself on just the educational part. Like, you don't need to actually have something out of it. You know how many people that call me and they're like, am I going to learn to make $1 million of like on reading Third Circle? I'm like, fuck no. You're not going to learn any of that stuff. But you'll learn a lot. Like, I promise you will. Like, read it. If you don't, then I'll give you money so that you wouldn't have wasted your time. But at the end of the day, think about it in this way. Don't read things so that you can immediately extract a reward. Read things so you can enhance and broaden your perspective and your awareness. I can guarantee you that at some point or another, you will learn to connect the dots much better because you're more self-educated around various topics and understand various perspectives from people who have succeeded and written about such topics. There is always value in understanding other people's perspectives. There is not necessarily a reward in it, so don't mix the two and stop assuming that finding your purpose or finding your path is going to be associated with some type of reward, and that's how you're going to know that this was meant to happen. Your path and the reward associated with your path have no correlation. So don't make that mistake, and we'll see you next week on another Ask Me Anything. So the next question that comes for Ask Me Anything is, can you give an example of someone working hard and working smart at the same time? I was actually having a really interesting